There's new business for this evening. Having no old business to discuss, we're going to go directly into public comment. Like before, we're going to try to keep everything down to 3 minutes. When you do step up, please state your name, your address, and the action item that you're looking to discuss. So, anybody at the moment have any public comments?
I'll let him go first.
You can go first if you want.
Okay. My comment, okay, I better sit down, do this the right way. My name is Joseph Gangi, G-A-N-G-I, 1998 Garnell Road. It's not about any of these action items, but it's a general comment to the planning commission because we went through something up on Yarnell Road with the subdivision issue. And what I'd like to point out is on the second one, where it's referred to as 0 Farmington Avenue, okay? They did this on the Yarnell Road subdivision, they put 0 Yarnell Road. There is no 0 Yarnell Road. The counselors explained that this is a convention that they use because there's no post office box, but it confuses everybody. And nobody, the participants, the public people, the neighbors and all, they don't know what this is about. So for instance, we're 0 Yarnell Road, yeah, it doesn't have an address, but it's adjacent to an address. Okay, and I know this gets started here, and then the next thing you know, nobody wants to change anything because, oh, we got a million documents out there. So I'm just putting it forward as a suggestion that you use some kind of more descriptive address so that the neighbors know, and that when the notices go out, that it's clear where this is going on. Because everybody thought it was down at the other end of the Yarnell Road, who thought about it at all. The other thing is, it probably doesn't relate to you, but the way that this township puts up public notice is on an 8.5 by 11 sheet in 12-point type in a little 3-ring binder slide, and they nail it on a stake and stick it in the ground, and it blows over in the first wind. So I don't know if that applies to you guys, but certainly the 0 address thing gets started here. Got a question? Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Gangi. Anybody else? Please, sir, come on.
My name's John Bush, and I live at 1256 North State Street. And I'm gonna kind of bring up an old topic that you had at your first meeting. That's the 1097 State Street subdivision project, which, to follow Mr. Gangi's comment, I had no idea that that was the title of that project, but that essentially involves what's happening with the development in Upland Square and what the status of State Street is. And so we've lived at that address for 28 years this coming November, so we're really familiar with State Street's history before Upland Square and after Upland Square. And so what I'm gonna say tonight is pretty much a rehash of what I said to the commissioners, the Board of Commissioners back in like 2023. But when Upland Square was built, the township held a town hall meeting to get input from the residents on what should happen with State Street. And the outcome of that meeting was the residents, and this room was completely packed with people, the residents didn't want State Street opened at all to Upland Square Drive or any kind of new development. And so the township then entered into an agreement with the developer such that whenever any new development would occur on the north side of Upland Square Drive, that the developer would build a cul-de-sac to isolate State Street from Upland Square Drive and any new development. And I didn't know if you guys had a copy, but I brought you guys a copy of the agreement. It's a matter of public record, so you guys can have this. On page 4, section 6 talks about specifically the agreement and building a cul-de-sac. When we had brought this up to the commissioners before, they felt that that was a pretty important document in deciding, you know, what to do. And since you guys are the new planning commission, I figured you should have a copy of it too. Now, when they built Upland Square Mall, they made State Street a 2-lane road all the way down to the intersection in front of the Citadel. But they put up 2 gates to keep State Street isolated from Upland Square Drive. And we were told that that was done for emergency purposes. But when Upland Square Drive was originally built, they had also closed off the back of Upland Square Drive, so you couldn't go past Target and out to Cell Road. So the only way in and out was through the entranceway at Route 100 and Upland Square Drive. And in all the years that the Upland Square Drive's been there, they've only ever opened the gates behind the Citadel twice. And after they did that, they very shortly opened up the back of Upland Square Drive. And so traffic started going in and out the back of Upland Square Drive, out on the Cell Road, down to Manatawny, up Levengood, and State Street. Now, the good thing was when they closed State Street, all the cross-traffic accidents that occurred at Levengood and State Street stopped. And I know that because, like I said, I've lived there for 28 years. There was almost a
I'm sorry, you have 15 more seconds.
Okay. Anyways, when they opened the back of the mall, the traffic on State and Levengood exploded. And after enough complaints, the township conducted a traffic study on State Street between Levengood and Chestnut. And the results of that study showed there's over 850 cars per day coming up State Street, mainly between the hours of the morning and about 11 o'clock at night, which corresponds to when the stores are open at Upland Square. There's a copy of the volume summary that shows how many cars come up through there per day, and the speed summary. And the speed summary is interesting in that 0.6% of the cars are going over 55. About 15% of the cars are going over 44. And State Street itself is posted at 35. So I'm asking you guys that when you make your recommendation, consider the agreement the township made before and the resident input that we'd like to see State Street kept closed and help protect the residential rural aspect of that end of the township instead of making it just another through road to the mall.
Okay, all right, thank you, sir, I appreciate that. Do you want me to take that and make copies as well?
No, I made like 5 copies of this for you guys. The one is the volume summary, the other one is basically the speed summary.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Yep, thanks for your time.
Thank you.
You will make copies as we keep you on.
I'm good, thank you.
All right, I know there was someone else who had public comment. Anybody else? Sir, come on up.
Rich Comer, 1303 Farmington Avenue, just out number 3 there, 14 Steinmetz Road. Was brought to you guys at the last meeting, and I didn't know if there was a, so I saw tonight, and you were talking about 902 Farmington Avenue, you stayed neutral. I don't know if there was a vote the last meeting, because I didn't stick around. So I was just kind of curious.
No votes from last meeting.
Yeah, I was just kind of curious on that, so, and also a comment about 902 Farmington Avenue. I'm a certified arborist.
Is the mic on?
Yeah, it's green. I'm an arborist, and to ease the pain a little bit, most of those trees that were taken down were ash trees, and, at Charlie Dickinson's place. We had nothing to do with any of that stuff. I'm just trying to tell you guys that most of that was ash trees, not 90, I'd have to say 90% of it was. So, anyway, okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else? There was a woman in the back who had.
She left when they left.
Okay, all right. Anyone else? Miss, come on.
My name's Sandra Leader and I live at 1134 North State Street. My question to you is, this was put in my mailbox, not in my mailbox, in the letter on the flag. I'm assuming this did not come from the township, correct?
I don't believe so, no.
Okay, because there's an error on it, the meeting is supposed to be for tomorrow night, the sixth. That's why that was one of my questions. My other question is, I don't know what brought this about. Was something new proposed by the, company that owns the land there that's doing the development? Where do we stand? And we were here in October of 2023, and I never heard any more, and I'd like to know how I go about keeping on top of this.
Why don't we can discuss afterwards on which property is it referring to?
The Upland Square shop, oh, I don't know what they're calling it, they're at Upland Square.
Okay, yeah, we can discuss afterwards, all right?
Yeah, I'm not into politics, they rank up there as lawyers.
Well, we appreciate you coming out today and
But I'm
being part of
concerned.
the process, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Everybody can make sure that they sign, the sign-in sheet before they leave.
All right, anyone else?
There was actually a discussion that we wanted to bring forward as soon as possible with regards to, the next meeting is tentatively scheduled for July 3rd, which is obviously, as we all know, the day before the 4th of July. We would like to actually cancel that meeting at this time before anyone plans, potentially, unless something comes up that we were unaware of at this time. But as of right now, unless something major pops up or was already on the agenda, we would probably be canceling that if at all possible, with it being obviously the day before the holiday for everyone. So, as of right now, we will check, like I said, to make sure nothing was added or nothing is already set up for that, but that's what we're looking to do at this time. And wanted to make it public knowledge as soon as possible for everyone. Alright, if there's nothing else, no other public comment, no other issues, we adjourn the meeting for this evening. If I could get it, make the motion,
I'll make the motion that we need.
alright, if there is a second.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Then the meeting is adjourned at this time, thank you everyone for coming out.